Hello, friends. Today's topic, the bridge was quiet, but the wrong decision had already started ashore. Chief, charters are asking if we can recover 6 hours before Singapore. The bridge was dim, except for the glow of the radar and IBIS screens. 0235 hours in the morning. Outside, the sea looked manageable. Inside the bridge, nobody felt relaxed. In the master stood silently near the forward bridge. The chief officer had already recalculated ETA twice. Engine room had reported slightly higher fuel consumption since noon. Meanwhile, ashore, operations kept sending updated instructions every 30 minutes. Recover time, reduction deviation, maintain schedule, nothing unusual, at least on paper. But here is what many people outside shipping never understand. Most dangerous decisions at sea do not begin during emergencies. They begin slowly during ordinary pressures, small pressures, commercial pressures, the kind nobody records in incident reports. Because sometimes the vessel is not struggling with weather. Sometimes the real problem is fragmented thinking, and that changes everything. The next morning, the vessel increased speed slightly, not aggressively, just enough to help schedule. But speed changes affected fuel planning. Engine load increased. Breeze team workload increased. Rest hours quietly reduced. Weather routing recommendations were now being adjusted instead of followed properly. Nothing looked unsafe individually. That is exactly why this situation become dangerous, because operational mistakes rarely arrive dramatically. They accumulate silently, one compromise at a time. By afternoon, another email arrived ashore. Can vessel optimize further to reduce delay exposure? The operator reading the mail already had 12 unread messages, two cargo updates, one bunker claim issue, and the superintendent asking for noon data clarification. So the reply went back quickly. Master to evaluate and advise. Simple sentence. But hidden inside, shipping are thousands of small moments exactly like this. Moments where nobody pauses, nobody reset the thinking, and nobody asks, what problem are we actually solving now? Because under pressure, human beings naturally become reactive, not strategic. And reactive thinking creates dangerous blind spots. By evening, the chief engineer called the bridge. Main engine temperature slightly fluctuating during load variation. Still manageable, still operational, still not an emergency. But now the master had a different problem, not technical, mental. Because once pressure enters decision making, people stop evaluating long term consequences properly. They focus only on immediate relief, recovery time, reduce delay, satisfy commercial demands. That is where experienced maritime professionals become different. Not because they panic less, but because they think differently under pressure. A weak operator asks, how do we recover schedule? A strong operator asks, what hidden cost are we creating while trying to recover the schedule? That question changes leadership completely. Around midnight, the master reduced speed again. Not because the weather forced him, not because the engine failed, because he recognized something important before the situation escalated. Fatigue was increasing. Communication quality was reducing. Decision-making clarity was narrowing. And once human clarity starts reducing on board, technical system alone cannot protect operation fully. The next morning, the vessel arrived slightly later than expected. Charters were unhappy, but the voyage remained safe. The machinery remained stable. The crew remained functional. And sometimes in shipping, that is the real success nobody celebrates enough. Because modern shipping has developed an unhealthy obsession with visible metrics, turnaround time, fuel numbers, port performance, schedule recovery, commercial optimization. But visible factors quietly shape operational reality more. Cognitive overload, fatigue, emotional pressure, fragmented communication, and reactive thinking. The C tests more than technical skill. It tests mental structure. That is why two masters facing identical conditions can produce completely different outcome. One reacts emotionally to pressure. The other creates space to think clearly before acting. And usually that difference decides whether pressure stays manageable or slowly become operational risk. So before your next voyage, before your next cargo operation, before your next pressure email ashore, pause for 30 seconds and ask, what is actually happening here? What pressure is shaping this decision? And what hidden consequences arrives 3 steps later? Because at sea, bad decision rarely begins with one catastrophic mistake. They begin quietly when clarity disappears under pressure. Thank you.